I know what you're all thinking, and I know what you're all saying. You're saying if I'm talking about a running back that has completely alleviated our fears of not signing Dalvin Cook or another of the running backs due to our concern about Brees Hall's health, you're probably assuming that I'm talking about Abawakanda, right? Because Abawakanda was pretty awesome. But that's not what I'm thinking, because I understand this is preseason. I understand these are not the number ones, right? The defenses we're going against have crazy guys in our division, right? There are crazy players on our division. I mean, in our own division, on defense, Buffalo, New England, these are well-disciplined defenses, and it's not going to be so easy for our boy Abawakanda to just take off and explode. Now, I know I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but at least I'm not copping out and just calling him Izzy, right? Right. Well, that is not why I am saying, and I'm not saying I'd be upset if we signed a guy like Dalvin Cook. I wouldn't be upset at the least. But the reason why I no longer care or think it matters at all is not Abawakanda. It's actually Michael Carter. Because everybody wanted to write him off, and he's the one. Forget about who the competition was. If you watched him, if you watched the game, you started to remember the running back we had his rookie year. He had his sophomore slump. It happens to so many players. And as I've said many times, there's multiple reasons for what we call the sophomore slump in this case. This case meaning we had no offensive line, and not a running back on the team or in the world was going to do anything, while defenses laughed at our quarterback and stacked the box and basically said, your offensive line is an infirmary. You have a guy that can't lift his left hand over his shoulder. Go, what are you going to do? We're just going to stop the run. You can pass the ball all you want, which we couldn't do. But if you really watch that game, watch Michael Carter. And it will remind you of who he is. He is a guy I completely trust if we're slowly reaping. That's because I ate Reaper Pepper and I can't get it out of my head. If we're slowly ramping up Brees Hall, we happily could give carries to our guy, Michael Carter. And guess what? Bam Knight has had overall a very good camp. And now we have Abawakanda, who I'm sure we all want to see get a chance against the number ones. I mean, just because he did it against lower competition doesn't mean we're saying we don't want to see him. I mean, if you're dominating the threes, I want to see what you could do against the twos. If you start dominating against the twos, I want to see what you can do against the ones, because it's an unknown. While it's too early to sit there and say we have another Brees Hall, and no one's saying that, we at least want to see a guy who excels. It's kind of like in college. A guy's the best player in college, so you draft him because you're hoping, oh, maybe he'll be the best player in the NFL. Well, if you're the best player against the number threes, are you the best player against the number twos? Let's find out. If you are, we got to try you against the number ones at some point. Don't we? I mean, it just kind of makes sense. The kid is like 21, he's like baby. What is he, 20, turning 21? It's absolutely insane. He's explosive. I'm excited about the kid. And it's not that I'm against signing another running back. It's not that I have anything against Dalvin Cook and don't think he's a good player. It's just not the room I'm worried about. It's simply not the room I'm worried about. I'm not really worried about most of our rooms. I mean, knock on wood, we've been having a good preseason and we haven't had to worry about injury. So, hey man, it's time. See that name, Jets, going across? It's time to be happy. It's time to be excited. It's time to hope. And knock on wood, every time we make it out of a game without serious injury. Because that is our enemy now. That's where our focus should be. Staying healthy. As long as we stay healthy, we're good, people. We're good. We're going to shore up that offensive line. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll have more answers about what's going to happen. And we can go back to being excited for a great season. As always, go Jets!